I thought that this would be a lot easier to film, but it's not. It's very difficult. Not for any emotional reason, just because it's really hard to sit in front of a camera in your room and just talk to people. And then it's like all this pressure of like, hey, I gotta make this interesting. Like, I'm a very engaging person in public and with people. Like, I don't have a hard time talking with people, but you put me in front of a camera and all of a sudden I become this like boring, dull person, it seems like, that doesn't know how to entertain the way I can in a group setting. I started this journey basically as an idea to do something that scared me. I'm not a very disciplined person, and I want to change that. I'm lucky enough that I work for a company called Barbell Apparel that has offered to help me along this journey, and they've provided resources and coaching to help me achieve this goal of running a marathon. I know it's going to be uncomfortable, and that's okay. I'm in the middle of the process and it's already uncomfortable for me, but it's also something that's making me stronger and have more mental fortitude that I can do these things. It's not a issue of if, but when. So I don't worry about what the ultimate goal is of running a marathon. It's going to happen. People ask me, well, what marathon are you signed up for? I'm not signed up for a marathon. I'm signed up to run a marathon, but there's no specific one. Like, I've decided that I'm going to run one, and that's it. And the process is basically starting from the beginning. I'm not a runner. And so, this is a new experience for me. Hopefully, this is something that you can watch and enjoy and see that this is not some professional talking to you or a sponsored athlete that's like, yeah, this is how you do it. And it's like, that's great for them. But there's a lot of us out there that don't have any idea what it looks like. And a lot of the hardest parts is just, it's scary. And I think the beginning of getting into it could be the hardest part. So I'm going to start documenting this, and I'll be putting videos out of my training and the process, and I'll dive into some things that I'm learning along the way, and hopefully you find it helpful. Because it's not about being athletic or being able to lift a certain amount or whatever. It's about just committing to something and believing that you can do it. Because we are way more capable of things. Because we are way more capable of things than we know. I don't know if that makes sense, but whatever. So, yeah. Let's see what happens. So today's a 10 miler. I'm out here at Red Rock. We're doing 2-mile intervals with half-mile walks. So just kind of ramping it up right now. Piece of advice, guys: if you have a coach or a training program, follow it, because I pushed myself too hard a couple weeks ago, and I pushed myself too hard a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna try and beat my longest ever run. And so I did 7 miles straight when I was supposed to be doing intervals of walking and running. And though I was glad that I beat that all-time high, I ended up injuring my foot and pinching a nerve in the top of my foot. And that's a pretty painful experience, and it puts you out of
running for a bit. I talked to the prehab guys and they were telling me that it takes around 7 to 10 days to heal from something like that. So my recommendation is to not overdo it because my body just wasn't ready for the stress of what was going on. That's it, 10 miles. Felt good. The last mile I ran at like an 8:50 pace, which is really fast for me, but I ran the first quarter mile of the last mile at like a 7 or like an 8:11 or 8:02 pace or something like that. So I was running way too fast, and that's what I was talking about. I lost my breathing, and then I had to like slow down to catch it up, and it's just not, you tire out. It's like I want to push myself, but like a lot of times I find that every time I push myself too hard, it ends up making me struggle for the next, however long it is. So, but yeah, it was a good run, and we just keep going and see what happens.
There's not much that I think humans are incapable of. We see it every day. It's just that the people who are achieving these great things, they're just willing to get uncomfortable. And I want to be uncomfortable. I want to live an uncomfortable life.